Welcome to week number 5 of the Star City Bulldogs Coaches Show. I'm Stuart Pearson. I'm sitting alongside, as always, the head coach of your Star City Bulldogs, Coach Matt Garrett. The Bulldogs getting set to take on the DeWitt Dragons as we travel to Arkansas County, take on the Dragons of DeWitt. But first, let's talk about last week, Coach. Really good first half. I thought we played really well, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Cross it too much in the fourth quarter. They win it 42-12. What was your thoughts of last week?
Yeah, I thought we came out, the kids fired up. I thought they played hard, extremely hard. Gave us a chance, defensively in the first half alone. I mean, it's 7-0 at halftime, and, we just couldn't finish on offense. That was the name of the game. And, we get down inside the red zone a few times. We get down to the 1 or 2 yard line and don't come away with points. I mean, you're not going to win many ball games doing that. But, talking about that ball game, I thought our kids played their tails off even to the end. That score isn't indicative of how our kids played. We're getting better each week, but, we keep shooting ourselves in the foot, and you can't win ball games that way. But, going back to last week, I thought our kids, they came out fired up. They played hard. They put us in chances, especially defensively. And, we'll just keep working.
Thought we had a lot of guys that played well last week. Talk about those.
Yeah, Tyler Grant defensively, he came away as our leading point guard defense. Eli Tucker played his tail off. There were some other guys that played hard. Parker Wynn, offensively, Justin Holloway, he did some good things. There were some things that, we'd like to have back, especially in the passing game. Caleb Hampton ran hard. We Marquise Pascal, up until he had a personal foul, but offensive line, that was probably their best game they played all year. All of them graded out well. Like I said, we just got to finish.
Let's talk about the 2 scoring drives to the Bulldogs on the night. We'll go to the third quarter. Justin Holloway to Jacob Booth, 10-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was we needed some points bad. And, that was a play we've been working for about 3 weeks now. And Coach Taylor called it at the right time. It was a big pass for us.
Kenyon Griffith, finally were able to get him in the open field, and we see what he can do. He's fast. I mean, he had 113 yards, 3 catches, an 85-yard touchdown run for his first touchdown as a Bulldog to give him 198 all-purpose yards on the night.
Yeah, Kai, ever since he moved here back in June, he's a great kid. Yes or no, sir. His mom's a police officer. He's always in the right spots at the right time, it seems like. But, we just could never get him out in the open. And, that route he caught last week, it was blocked up perfect on the play side of it. And, he had some green grass and took off.
Coach, as always, let's get your players over the game from last week.
Yeah, defensively, I said his name earlier. We went with Tyler Grant. Ever since he got with us, basically in fall camp, he came out in the summer right after, I was hired after Coach Norton left, and said, I want to give it a shot. And he hadn't played football since I believe 7th grade. And he's just steadily, I want to work. I want a spot. And ever since he got here, he's just worked his tail off, and he played hard the other night, and he made a lot of plays.
How about your plays of the game?
Offensively, I would go also with player of the game as Kai. He had you said those 3 catches, but shoot, he had some yards to him. Plays of the game, the first half, we had a couple good runs that got us down into the red zone. And those were explosive for us, but we didn't finish. Plays of the game offensively, I'd go with, like you said, that throwback pass to Jacob Booth for our first touchdown. And then defensively, we had so many pass breakups that put us in position to receive a punt and get the ball back to our offense. Those things were, Coach Ham has been, working those guys to get the ball back to the offense, and they did the other night. We got to capitalize and finish drives and score points.
Talk more about Parker Wynn. 3 tackles, 3 solo tackles, and 3 pass breakups. They could have easily been picks.
I used to coach with Parker's dad at Dumas, and, I remember when Parker was just a little kid. I mean, like 2-3 years old whenever I first moved down there. And, just to watch his growth and maturity and to where he's at now athletically, he's becoming, one of our pace setters on defense. He's playing some positions right now that we kind of rally around. And, we need him to continue to come on and make plays. And I believe he's going to.
How about Ernie Mejia, special teams? 4 punts for a total of 162 yards for a 40.5-yard average. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I think everybody knows, especially everybody down here knows now that, we're playing a lot of youth. And for Aaron to step into a game, especially a role as punter, as a 10th grader, and he's booting some punts that flip the field and change field position. That's big, and a few of them had some good rolls the other night. It's not like he's booming them with a 42 net in the air. I mean, he's getting some good rolls, but he's putting the ball in spots that we're asking him not to kick to their returner or to place the ball away from their people. That way, we can get down there and pin it, or we can get a good roll. He's doing a great job, though.
For CrossFit, the guy that stood out to me, I wanted to ask you about Brylan Howe for the Eagles. He had 28 carries for 275 yards and a touchdown. What'd you think about him?
I thought the kid was electric. It seems like every week we play a guy that can go, and it just is what it is. In this conference, you live that life sometimes. But Coach Grisham's done a great job down there. Continuing to rebuild that program, and he's had some kids buy in. And that cat, he's one of them. He definitely, he got some touches the other night, and he made the most of it.
Coach, as always, how's the health of the team this week?
I think everybody's pretty much healthy, aside from, I think there's some bumps and bruises, but I think we'll have everybody we had the other night.
DeWitt, 2-2 on the year. They're 0-1 in conference play. They started off the year, they won at CAC 38-15. Then they had a bye week. And then week 2, technically, they lost to Jacksonville 28-20. They were down 21-6 at the half and made a furious rally in the second half, just come up short. They won at McGee 2 weeks ago, 27-0. And last week they lost a very close game at Warren, a game that they could have easily won, 28-26. New head coach this year, Jason Hathcock, takes over at DeWitt. What do you think about the Dragons?
I know Coach Hathcock. He's a really good coach. He did a lot of good things at Mineral Springs the last few years. They got a really good team. They do. They returned Corey Graham and Travis London. They've got a good senior group of athletes. Kind of reminds me of Star City when I got to Star City back in 21. They've got a lot of kids that there's not a lot of a buck with that program. They after Coach Cody left, it's like they just wash, rinse, repeat. They just kept winning and kept playing hard, and they really do. They when you turn on the film, you see it. They're in the right spots all the time offensively. They do a lot of things offensively. They get under center, they get in the shotgun. They've got some kids back out that weren't playing for Coach Cody. So, it's another DeWitt team that it's gonna be an absolute dogfight. So you better pack your lunch and get ready to play.
Their quarterback, Xavier Cox, what I've seen from him, he's going to run it. They're going to run it with him, and he's going to throw it a lot too.
Yep, he's the one that I was talking about that came back out after Coach Cody left, and he's got some wheels to him. He's still figuring it out a little bit, but like I said, they do a lot of things well, and we got to make sure we're dialed in.
All right, Coach. How do we get over the hump tonight at DeWitt?
It's just like I've been saying this whole time. We've got to finish on offense. I think we can play, but we've stressed execution so much. Well, now we've got to finish. We've got to score points offensively, and defensively. You can't expect Corey Graham or some of those guys not to get some yards, but we've got to make sure we do our jobs defensively, and I believe we will. We've had a great week of preparation, but we just got to make sure we know where he's at all times. Especially their ball carriers.
I think another key would be defensively, getting some turnovers and turning them into points.
Absolutely. Anytime you can create turnovers on defense, you're gonna give yourself a chance. And I think defensively we are getting better. We are each week, and it'd be good to see that trend continue, and like you said, get a couple quick ones.
I believe it's going to come together, and I hope it starts tonight. Good luck tonight against the Dragons.
Thank you.
Go Dogs. All right, for Coach Matt Garrett, I'm Stuart Pearson. Stay tuned. Bulldog football coming to you live from DeWitt, Arkansas, Dragon Stadium, and it's next right here.
We're live at Dragon Stadium. I'm Santa Macklin along with Brandon Berry and Stewart, the Bulldog historian himself, Pearson. And we will bringing you all the action right here on the Bulldog Network. We're live on Q100 and the Star City School YouTube page. Last week, Star City dropped their 4th game in a row to the Crossett Eagles. But on the flip side, DeWitt lost a heartbreaker to those pesky Lumberjacks of Warren, 28-26. Stu, can you kind of give us a rundown of last week's around the conference and what's going on this week, man?
Sure. Well, we'll kind of go over last week for Star City. First, it was a competitive ball game. The Bulldogs fought really hard, especially for the first 3 quarters. It was only 7-0 Crossett at half. Crossett came out in the third quarter, extended it to 14-0, but the Bulldogs got on the board thanks to a 10-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Justin Holloway to Jacob Booth to make it a 14-6 ball game going into the fourth quarter. You felt pretty good, but then Crossett scored 2 more times to put it away, but the Dogs weren't done. They got an 85-yard touchdown run by Kynan Griffith for his first touchdown as a Bulldog. Griffith was our offensive player of the game last week. He had 3 catches for 113 yards and the 85-yard touchdown. That gave him 198 all-purpose yards on the night. Parker Wynn was our defensive player of the game. He led the way with 3 tackles, and he had 3 pass breakups. On special teams, how about Ernie Mejia? He had 4 punts last week, guys, for a total of 162 yards. Guys, that's an average of 40.5 yards per punt. For Crossett, Braylon Howe was the star. He carried the ball 28 times for 275 yards and a touchdown for the Eagles. And the 8-4A scores from last week, Hamburg, big over Monticello, 55-20. It was a 28-20 Lions halftime lead, but the Lions ripped them open in the second half. Mercy ruled them, put up over 600 yards of offense. Nykel Lewis, 32 carries for 357 yards and 6 touchdowns. Guys, through 4 games, he has rushed for 1,137 yards and 22 touchdowns. That's through 4 games. He has 21 rushes and 1 receiving touchdown. Stuttgart over Helena, 49-30. Birds led 42-14 at half, but kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit, but they still won comfortably. Warren survives, and I mean survives, DeWitt, as Sam talked about a while ago, 28-26. DeWitt could have easily won that game. They had 3 chances inside the red zone, turned it over twice. And we mentioned Crossett over Star City, 42-12. This week's Hooten's rankings, Warren, they moved up a spot to number 4 this week. They are 3-1 overall. Hamburg, despite a Mercy Rule win over Monticello, dropped 1 spot down to number 8. They are 3-1 on the season. Stuttgart remains at number 9. They are 4-0. Monticello drops from 14 to 18 this week. Guys, they're surprising, 1-3 on the season. DeWitt, 2-2, remains at number 19. Crossett and Helena and Star City are 0-4. When you look at the conference standings, Crossett, Hamburg, and Stuttgart are 1-0, and they have 13 tiebreaker points. Warren is also 1-0, but they only have 2 tiebreaker points. DeWitt, Helena, Monticello, and Star City are 0-1. This week's slate, game of the week in the conference, the Saline River Shootout takes place in Monticello. Warren taking on the Billies. Could be a good game. Monticello, if you're the Billies, got to get on track and find them a win here, but I don't think they do this week. I think Warren, it's probably close for a while, but I think Warren beats them by 2 touchdowns at Monticello. Hamburg at Helena, long road trip for Hamburg, but they should roll easily. Stuttgart at Crossett. Could that be a trap game for the Birds? We'll see. I don't think so. I think Stuttgart gets to 5-0 and wins. And, of course, Star City at DeWitt. And Hooten's likes DeWitt to win the ball game. Star City's last win in this series was here at DeWitt, 34-7 in 2022. Star City was coached that year, of course, by Chris Farine. DeWitt was coached by Tommy Cody. Star City last lost, get this, at DeWitt all the way back in 1998. The score was 21-6. Star City was coached at the time by Happy Grayson. DeWitt was coached by Bo Johnston.
Appreciate that, Stu. Brandon, man, how are we going to get that win here tonight, man?
Man, if we're looking for a win, we've said it. We just got to do things right. We got to play mistake-free football. We got to when we get in the red zone, we got to punch it in. We got to finish. We got to finish it out. If you go back and listen, I said the same thing last week, but that's it. Sometimes it's that easy to make that happen, and that's what it's going to take.
Yeah, I agree, and I think defensively, like I told y'all coming over here, I think it'd be great to force turnovers on defense, and obviously with those turnovers, you want to turn them into points. Hey, real quick, speaking of winning, congratulations to our junior high team last night. A huge win at home over DeWitt, 38-8. Absolutely dominated the Dragons.
Guys. My thing, man, is I think the DeWitt offense goes through Corey Graham.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've talked about him for many, many years.
Yeah.
Every year, DeWitt has got Corey Graham. I think he's got great vision. He can make all the right cuts. He's always in the right spot at the right time. I personally think he's probably the second best running back in the conference behind Lewis and Hamburg.
Yeah.
But yeah, their offense goes by him.
Yeah.
So, the Star City's defense, they'll have to step up big here tonight and get him on the ground early in order to have a chance to win this ballgame.
It would be great also to get a lead, somehow to jump on them. If we can find a way. We had a chance last week against Crossett to jump on them early. Didn't happen. It'd be nice to do that tonight.
Yeah, so tonight's captains for Star City is number 8, Jacob Booth, number 7, Tyler Grant. He was the coach's defensive player of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see who that is. And then number 5, that is Marcus Smith right there, going to be tonight's captain. Star City's wearing their away jerseys, which are the white tops and the blue pants. DeWitt's wearing their home jerseys. Their captains for tonight is number 33, Lane Lay, and number 2, Travis London. Those two guys I think we're going to call a lot tonight, along with Corey Graham.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out who that 4th Star City captain is. I can't quite see his number. But anyways, yeah, they're DeWitt's offense is pretty good. They had one on the ropes.
They did. They sure did. They just, like we talk about finish all year long. DeWitt couldn't finish those drives. They had a chance to beat them. So
even last year when DeWitt came over here, or Warren came over here, DeWitt had a chance to win that game
exactly
too.
Right. Yep. Really, the last 3 years, DeWitt has had chances to beat them. They just didn't get it done.
Yeah. So, coin toss has happened. Star City has won the toss, and they have elected to receive the kick, and they're going to be moving from our left to right. DeWitt's going to get the football at the second half. That 4th captain tonight is going to be number 65, David Esteban. That's going to be that 4th captain, the one that number I couldn't see. So with that, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we're going to be back with the kickoff. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Bulldog Football on Q100. Welcome back to DeWitt. Yeah, we're back at DeWitt Stadium. Star City's getting lined up to receive the kick, along with DeWitt getting ready to kick it off. Like I said, Star City's going to be moving from our left to right. Our deep man tonight is going to be number 2, Kai Griffith. Beside him, well, they're going to be looking for that shank, kind of that squib kick. You got Drew Morgan, Pascal, and Parker Wynn, and Marcus Smith all going to be lined up at the 40, about the 36. And then Griffith's going to be back at the 15. Tonight's game temperature is 77 degrees with the east wind at 5 miles an hour. Corey Graham is going to be doing the kicking for DeWitt. There's the kick. He's going to kick it to Kai Griffith, the deep man, and he's going to take it up the left-hand side. He's got a little lane there. He's going to get all the way down to about the 39-yard line. That was a good return by Kai Griffith.
Great return.
Yeah, that's not a bad return at all. Start roughly at the 39, 40-yard line. That's a good start here for the Bulldogs.
It looks like they're going to mark it down just shy of the 40-yard line. Right at it. Well, they hadn't spotted it yet. It's going to be at the 39-yard line. Star City's going to open up the game with their spread look. They're going to go twins to both sides. I think that is Spencer's going to be in the running back to Holloway's right-hand side. DeWitt's going to jump, but there's no flag. It's going to be a quick hitch to Kai Griffith on the left-hand side. He's going to have good yards, stay in front of the chains. That's going to bring up second and about 3 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think here short pass and ball on the ground is going to be the key tonight. Slow and steady, move the ball, get our first downs, 2 or 3 yards of play, run the clock. Hey, that's the only thing we can do.
That's exactly right.
So Star City's going to go quads right. Smith's coming in motion. He picks up a block. Holloway's going to pull it down. He's going to scramble